Hello everyone, SG Dad here. Today in this video, I'm going to share why we chose to leave Singapore. But first, let me emphasize that these reasons are entirely personal and subjective, so you may not completely agree with me. But if you do, please let me know in the comment section below. So now let's get started. The first reason is the environment. When it comes to the environment, I think it can be further split into two aspects. The first aspect will be nature. As we know, Singapore seriously lacks natural spaces. But don't get me wrong, I know we have nice parks, nature trails, and nature reserves. But overall, it's still a super small country, and we really don't have many options when it comes to nature. So this is something my wife and I really enjoy, and unfortunately is something that we can't fully experience in Singapore. And the second aspect of environment, which I think is super underrated factor, is the weather. Everyone knows that Singapore's weather can be terrible, especially during certain times of the year. And we lack 4 seasons, there's no nice or cooling weather. Right, so this will force us to stay indoor most of the time, and without good weather, we also tend not to explore nature as much because we can't fully enjoy the activities like walking on nature trails. So although there are many nice parks and playgrounds where we can bring our kids to, the weather usually reduces this enjoyment. Like instead of 100% enjoyment, maybe we only get 40% of it because of the heat and humidity. If you have been to overseas and experienced nice and cool weather while walking in parks, hiking, or letting your kids play in the playground, you'll know there's a huge difference. So even sometimes something as simple as having a picnic in Singapore, we don't really want to do that, right? Versus doing it overseas. Now, let me move on to the second reason, the people. When it comes to people, again, I want to split into two aspects, which is quantity and quality. So first, quantity. Singapore is a super dense country, and there are people everywhere. So even if there's a nice event or new shopping mall, it's often overcrowded with locals or tourists. And this will again reduce the enjoyment of this experience and not doing justice to the nice facility or events. For things as simple as eating out, if you want to have your dinner in a nice restaurant over the weekend, most of the time you will have to queue for it. And when there are too many people, it can also lead to anxiety. Like if you're driving, you will notice that drivers on the road, a lot of them are very impatient. For public transport, it can also get extremely crowded. So because of that, people are usually not as friendly towards each other. And that brings me to the second aspect, which is quality. I'm not trying to judge anyone or judging people based on higher moral grounds, but I think that the high population density contributes to this as well. So with so many people around, we tend to be less tolerant. Social etiquette and public behavior are not very ideal. Although I believe Singaporeans are generally kind, it only takes a small percentage of people to spoil the whole experience. Just like in public transport, I get easily annoyed by people talking loudly or playing videos or watching TikTok through their speakers. You just need one person in the whole bus to spoil it. So finally, the third reason is about our kids. We are moving because we are seeking an environment that aligns more with our values. In Singapore, the education system is very academically driven. Just like the PSLE, it's very common to see parents taking a year off just to prepare together with their kids. Before primary school, there are many parents volunteering at school just to secure a spot for their children. So this kind of competition, we find that is really ingrained into parents' mindset. We know that by doing certain things, it actually put a head start into our education, right? And because more and more parents are doing it, so if you don't load your children with tuition or enrichment classes, you will fear losing out. And I think that this type of competition is unhealthy and unnecessary. Some may argue that you don't have to enroll your kids in tuition or enrichment classes. But the reality is that if their peers and classmates are all doing so, then my kids will become the oddball in the class. And they may not be able to find companions even if they want to play. So we want our kids to grow up in a less stressful environment and experience a different kind of education system. We prefer that the education should be more non-academic activities where they can develop good character, positive attitudes, going for lifelong learning, and they can also pursue in passions that are non-academic related, maybe like sports, music, arts, etc. And with the rise of AI and the fast evolving job market and in the industry, I'm not very sure if the skills being taught in schools today will still be relevant in 10 to 20 years. So instead of putting my kids through a rigorous education system that might leave them more unprepared for the future, I'd rather they focus more on developing resilience and adaptability. So in conclusion, these three factors, environment, people, and our kids' education, are the main reasons we decided to leave Singapore. We want a different lifestyle. If we were to stay in Singapore for the next 20 years or retire here, I can already anticipate what our lives would look like every year, and it doesn't excite me at all. So most likely it would involve traveling twice a year during the June and December holidays, or maybe sometime with occasional short weekend trips. So it's no secret that Singaporeans' favorite pastime is traveling and getting out of Singapore. So I thought, why not leave Singapore permanently and experience a completely different lifestyle, so that we have something new to look forward to every day. Maybe after we relocate, we don't even need to travel overseas anymore, because the domestic travel will keep us excited for a long time. So do you agree with me? Whether you agree with me or not, do let me know in the comment section down below. We can have a discussion over there. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.